Hello everybody, welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Show in the midst of another 3-game week. We are trying our best to keep up with all the incessant amount of championship football. It is fun, it's a little bit tiring, but we're back already with another preview show. And this is for round 8, game week number 8. Already. Feels like we've done 5, 6, 7, all very, very quickly. We're back into midweek. Now we're going to look at all 12 games, 6 on Tuesday, 6 on Wednesday, and make a few predictions as well. Well, we are here. First off, though, we need to say thank you to the Donovan brothers who sponsor the Championship Preview Show in loving memory of Michael Donovan of South East London, a lifelong Millwall fan and admirer of this show. Thank you to the Donovan brothers. And there are your round 8 fixtures. Barnsley, QPR, Blackburn, Reading, Borough, Coventry, Brentford, Norwich, Wycombe, Watford, Swansea, Stoke, all on Tuesday. On Wednesday night, Preston, Millwall, Birmingham, Huddersfield, Luton, Forest, Bournemouth, Bristol City, Rotherham, Sheffield Wednesday, Derby, Cardiff. Let's have a look at every single one. We would normally do this live, but it's very, very tricky at the moment, given watch-alongs and other things all going on the channel. So, get your predictions in via the comments, hopefully on as many of the games as you can. But if it's just your team, then so be it. Okay, first up is Blackburn versus Reading. This is going to be an interesting one, isn't it? Blackburn seem to have a very good strike force and have knocked a few goals in a few games, haven't they? A 5 and a 4 and a 4 already. But have they done it in easy circumstances? Reading are on fire and are right up at the top of the league, 5 points clear, having had a brilliant start. Reading fans are getting very, very prickly and struggling to cope with the new way people talk about their team, because instead of not really mentioning them, everyone's saying now, oh, well, Reading, this is a surprise. Will they stay up there? Now, Reading fans, stay calm. That is not an unreasonable question to ask. And your position should probably be, well, this is a great surprise. I'm loving it, and I hope we stay up there. But we're seeing some defensive Reading fans, let's just say. But we've got some lovely ones. Subscribe to the channel at any rate. But look at Reading there on the right-hand side at the top. Win, 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 draw, win, win. Absolutely brilliant start by them. Again, to mention Blackburn, yes, the front three is firing, but against 10-man Wycombe, 10-man Coventry, and against Derby in a very, very bad moment. In difficult games, look, they have lost to Watford, lost to Blackburn, and lost to Bournemouth. So, this is just a fascinating test. If Reading are a top side, in theory, Blackburn lose to top sides and they beat lower sides. So we're thinking, or 2 red card games as well. It's going to be very, very revealing. We don't expect too much to change. Look at Reading on the right-hand side there. Now, they did rest Lucas João, so maybe he'll start over Puskás. Estevez got his first start. Will he stay in? And they've got Elise as well on the bench. So maybe some movement there. And Blackburn have been fairly fluid. Look, they've got Dolan to come in if Elliott can't bang out the games at 3 per week. Gallagher as well in terms of Brereton's position. Tribal made his debut. Douglas made his debut as well. So it looks like some options there. This is a very, very interesting game. We are going to learn a lot, aren't we? Are the Reading fans going to be coming out saying, look, we did it again? That's, 7 wins and a draw now out of the first 8. Are the Blackburn fans going to be saying, look at us. We are good. We've just beaten the top team. Look at our striking options and Adam Armstrong banging the goals in. Reading have been very tight at the back, haven't they? So Blackburn have been very good up front. First goal, utterly, utterly key. Whoever gets it probably wins. Perhaps a low-scoring one. Does the Reading run continue? I don't think it does, but I don't think they're going to lose. Let's go for a low-scoring draw in this one in Blackburn versus Reading. Get your predictions in via the comments. Okay, next up, top of the table clash. Bournemouth versus Bristol City. As you can see there, Bristol City currently in second. Bournemouth currently in fourth. 1 point difference. Bournemouth 3 draws on the bounce. Bristol City 3 without a win after both had really excellent starts with 10 and 12 points indeed in Bristol City's first 4 games. Looking at the teams there, I keep saying it, look on the right of Bristol City there. They can't get Callas and Mawson out at the same time. Bakinson got a rest, didn't he? Brunt had a start. Wells got a rest. So will they both come back into this one? They drew against Swansea. Difficult week this one for Bristol City. Bournemouth drew 1-1 in the 95th minute down at Watford. Josh King made his first start. They are loaded though. Look on the bench. They could bring in any of Gosling, Stanislas, Solanke and Surridge. Riquelme still looking for his first start. And with that being said, I would probably make Bournemouth favourites in this one. They've got more depth in the squad. They seem to have more quality. Can they churn it out Championship style and get the win? I think they can. I'm going for a Bournemouth home win over Bristol City. Get your thoughts in the comments. Next up is Wycombe versus Watford. This should be fairly plain sailing at the moment because Wycombe have lost 7 on the trot, haven't they? So it's going to be hard to predict anything other than a Watford win. Watford nearly beating Bournemouth, equaliser in the 95th minute. They've only lost thus far to runaway leaders Reading. They look very tight, Watford as well, and more players to come back in. You'll see in this last game they've rested João Pedro. Capoue came in off the bench. They seem to be rotating 4 centre-halves there. Cavasele, Wilmot, Ekong and Cathcart. They're able to do that. They look so strong. Kashket got the goal for Wycombe in the last game. Bloomfield rested in that one. So Onyedinma, Wheeler and Horgan all starting. So maybe a touch more attacking. Samuel could be the guy coming in to spearhead the attacking and the pressing at the front of the pitch for Wycombe. I suppose Watford aren't massively high scoring. We're playing Wycombe. Could be their chance, but I'm afraid everything so far this season points towards a Watford win. I'm going for an away win. Watford to win at Wycombe. Down at Brentford is a very interesting tie here between two of the pre-season favourites. It's Brentford versus Norwich. You can see they're Norwich in 5th with 3 straight wins, but not the most straightforward wins, let's just say. Brentford down in 11th. A couple of defeats slipping in there. Lost at Stoke 3-2. Lost at Preston at home 4-2 as well. Leaking some goals, aren't they? So neither side is where they would hope to be yet. Brentford are developing post-Ben Rama. Norwich are developing post-relegation. Both sets of fans are going to want this to be the game where they go against a rival and say, right, okay, we're set, away we go. Can't happen for both, can it? We know that. Norwich have been without Zimmerman, so Hanley has come in. Horrible mistake for the Wycombe goal by him. Otherwise, we do know that Daniel Farker, when he's winning, likes a stable team. So expect that to stay the same. Cantwell and Buendia, Hugill and Pookie. It would only be resting somebody that maybe, I don't know, Plachetta, although he hasn't started yet. And Rupp and Skip seem to be forming a good midfield partnership. In terms of Brentford, well, they went to a 3 at the back, didn't they? I don't know if Pontus Jansson is back. They're missing Norgard in midfield, but the Brentford fans are quite high on Janelt, who's played a couple of games. Up front, very interesting now because we've had the fabled Brentford front three now, Benrahma, Watkins and Buemo last season. However, we now have two number 9s in Tony as the starter, who's banging the goals in, Marcus Forss, who seems to be the backup, who's also banging the goals. And I wonder, would they go to a front two at any point and break up the front three idea? We'll see. Definitely food for thought for Thomas Frank there. Difficult one to call. Should be a really good game. Should be very different to Norwich's last 3. They've won all of them late, but they've come up against stacked defences, in 2 of them particularly, against Birmingham and against Wycombe. And also Rotherham in the other game. They won in the 94th minute, and they've won against 10 men twice as well. So I'm very interested to see Norwich hopefully play 11 men and a team that doesn't just defend against them. One or two things will happen. Either Norwich will prefer playing against that and win, or they won't quite be ready for it because they haven't faced it, only against Bournemouth really thus far. Maybe Huddersfield in the first game, but they really weren't quite there in game 1 under Carlos Corberan in the form that maybe they picked up a few games later. Very difficult one to call. I'll sit on the fence with this one and go for a draw. Hopefully a scoring draw with lots of attacking football and maybe 2 or 4 goals in it. So I'm going to go for a draw. Brentford and Norwich. Up at Deepdale, we have Preston versus Millwall. This is going to be a difficult one to call, isn't it? Preston in good form recently, but mainly away from home. They've won 3 away games on the trot there, and they're not really doing it at home just yet, are they? Good win at Huddersfield off the back of going to QPR and winning, and that good win comeback against Brentford. For Millwall, well, it's Gary Rowett. They're hard to beat, go figure. Probably disappointed not to have got past Barnsley, given they were without manager, and probably a good moment to play them at the weekend. The last game, Barnsley will play there without a manager. New one installed now, Valerian Ismail. Look in the table there, Millwall in 6th. Preston would hope to be pushing up in that direction soon enough. There is what was been happening at the weekend. Millwall going for Bennett up front in a 3. So we'd expect to maybe see Smith or Bradshaw or Bodvarsson or maybe even a first start for Ken Zohore there. The name on the Preston fans' lips at the moment is Emil Risch, who looks like a decent addition for them. Really difficult one to call. I can't see either side losing, so I'm afraid I'm going to have to sit on the fence. Might even be 0-0 in this one. So I'm going to go for a very, very low scoring draw. Preston and Millwall to draw. Next up is Swansea versus Stoke in another difficult one to call. Look, 7th versus 8th in the table. Stoke are starting to churn it out though. Look, win, draw, win, draw, win. I like the look of that. Bristol City just tailing off, much in the way of, who were we talking about earlier? Bristol City, sorry, I think I said Bristol City. Swansea just tailing off, much in the way of Bristol City and Bournemouth after those cracking first 4 games. Points just dropping back a little bit, and you can see only 2 points from the last 3 from Swansea. They are now adjusting to playing without Joe Rodden. Up top, if you look there in the last game, they didn't go with Gyökeres. It was Lowe and Ayew. I've been saying for a while, bring in a striker. They've done so. Didn't play him at the weekend. Maybe just rested. So perhaps he comes back in. Waiting for Ryan Manning to start, but Jake Bidwell is playing so well. Stoke, the system won't change, but I think some of the players will, because they've got strength there in depth. A lot of good shouts for Harry Souttar as having a bit of a breakout season there. Maybe Powell or Gregory or Vokes down the bottom there might come in, freshen that one up top. Otherwise, the stability, I think, will change. And I think the results will keep coming. I think Stoke might be able to do the business here and will lose the win-draw, 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 win-draw streak, and they might get 2 consecutive wins. So I am going to go for an away win for Stoke in this one. Stoke to go to Swansea and win. Get your predictions in the comments. And on Wednesday night on Sky TV, Luton versus Forest. Luton up in 9th. Forest down in 19th, but 5 points in 3 under new boss Chris Hughton thus far. They drew with Derby in the East Midlands Derby match on Friday. So, bit of a swing in results from straight defeats to undefeated. Now, Luton are being that team at the moment that doesn't draw any games. They're either winning or they're losing. I would worry if I was a Luton fan that Chris Hughton would be the type of manager that might be able to get something against Luton. So that is what Luton did in the last game. Another back three coming in there. Look, Bradley Pearson and Lockyer all playing. And I think Mpanzu was good up top. Not sure what the status is with James Collins, whether he can come back in. Morel and Dewsbury Hall starting in midfield. So Luton getting a win and really trying out quite a few new ideas in that last game. So Nathan Jones will be really pleased with that. I would imagine Chris Hughton will keep things rather similar. Look, Knockaert now into that squad. Played the second half of that game. Grabban and Taylor started up front together. I wonder whether he will do that again. You would imagine that someone like Chris Hughton might be something like kryptonite to Luton, as in Luton are very kind of forward thinking and they gamble, don't they? They play quick transitions and will leave themselves open. Will they fall into the same trap that maybe they did against Stoke? I think they might do. So I'm going to go for Chris Hughton to stay unbeaten, and I'm going to go for Luton to keep on win, lose, win, lose, win, lose, no drawing. I'm going to go for a Forest away win in this one. I'll probably get egg on my face. But there you go. Get your predictions in the comments. Next, we have Borough versus Coventry. This is 13th versus 20th. Borough were kind of slipping along nicely. A few too many draws in there, but they are very hard to beat. And maybe they've had a few tricky games in there. Look, going to Cardiff, Bristol City high up in the league, Reading high up in the league, Bournemouth and Watford both played already. So maybe some good signs there and some stability. We'll look at the team in a minute. Coventry, yeah, they're on a little bit of a bad run, aren't they? Look at that, 2 points in the last 5. 4-0 at home to Blackburn at the weekend. Caveat there, red card to Rose early on. He will be suspended. Ostigard will likely come back in. I assume Gus Hamer is now going to be fit again. Look on the bench there. Assombalonga, Brown, Roberts, all on the bench. I think Warnock is building into this season quite nicely. I think it's a good moment to play Coventry, and I think Borough are going to get the home win. I'm going for Middlesbrough to beat Coventry. Next up is Birmingham versus Huddersfield, 14th and 17th in the table. Huddersfield, though, with that really good run of 10 points in 4 games leading up to the home defeat against Preston at the weekend. Birmingham will have only won 1, but they're so tricky to play against. Look, just so few goals in all of those games, only losing by the odd goal twice when they have done. It looks like they've really built into this 5 at the back system now under Karanka, who just seems to want this to be solid, solid, solid. Dean, Friend and Roberts all in there, Colin and Pedersen wing backs. Leko has played the last couple of games. Look on the bench there. Jutkovic back. That is key for Birmingham. That will help them. There's the out ball and maybe there's the foil to Scott Hogan. Up top, Huddersfield had a lovely little run, didn't they? That ended at home to Preston. So I'm thinking if Jutkovic can get back in the starting lineup, Karanka can keep it tight. Maybe I'm predicting a rare Birmingham victory. They haven't won since the opening day. Got to predict them sooner or later. So let's go for Birmingham home win against Huddersfield. Disagree? Get your thoughts in the comment. Right, 3 to go. Derby versus Cardiff. They're 15th versus 22nd. Let's call it the Cameron Jerome Derby game. Cardiff, very similar to Warnock's Borough there. Difficult to beat, not too many wins into the bargain. Defeats against Reading and Sheffield Wednesday so far. Lots of draws. Derby look like they might be, sorry to quote President Trump, but rounding the turn. to use his terminology on COVID in the debate the other night there. Cardiff now, well, Glatzel and Moore have rotated the past couple of games. Maybe that will change. One thing that I don't think will change will be Harry Wilson in there. But maybe Hoyle or Bakuna might find their way back into that team. Be interesting to see who Neil Harris goes for, whether he'll rotate during this heavy schedule. Now, that front end of the pitch is looking much, much better for Derby. No Rooney up top on his own anymore. I still think he's missing with his self-isolation at the moment. Josh Viak, Waghorn and Lawrence. Waghorn obviously scoring that great goal at Forest. And with that being said, I quite like the look of where Derby could go now. There should be an upward trend for them. Bielik is also back as well. And remember, Rooney to add into that. I wonder if this new front three can get Derby a win over Cardiff. Cardiff will make it tricky. But look, not much has gone right for the Rams. So let's predict a home win. Derby to beat Cardiff. Get your predictions in the comments. And complete with new manager. Now, Valerian Ismail Barnsley will play QPR. This was a cracker last season. Was it like 5-3 or something? I remember. Not many wins between these two teams. Look at that. That's the last 14 games. One win between all of them. And Barnsley without a win all season. So, on the one hand, Barnsley will be thinking, right, let's get off. New manager, first win. QPR, let's take advantage of a team that haven't won yet. You know how this all works, doesn't it? A bit worrying, QPR's recent form there. Have the games been that hard? I don't know. You tell me. Barnsley, well, I did a bit on the new manager today. So expect three at the back to continue. But there seems to be a lot of striking options there with Woodrow and Chaplin and Freeser and Simos and Kane and Thomas. We'll see what Ishmael comes up with. QPR, two up top there. Macaulay, Bond, Lyndon, Dykes. A lot of attacking players in there. So maybe not the place to do it away at Barnsley. Maybe that game was obviously at home to Birmingham where, okay, go ahead and attack. Ooh, this is a tricky one to call. I think we might get an away win in this one. I think it might take a couple of games for Ishmael to get his first win. And although QPR might be a good matchup because they'll both try and keep the ball and both try and progress, I think QPR might just be better at that given the Barnsley manager's only been there a few days, hasn't he? So I'm going to go for a rare QPR away win. Get your predictions in the comments. QPR to win at Barnsley for me. And last but by very no means least, up in Yorkshire, Rotherham versus Sheffield Wednesday. Both teams would love a win in this one. Rotherham haven't won since the opening day. Some very, very close calls since. However, a 3-0 at home, away to runaway leaders Reading at the weekend. Not what the doctor ordered. Sheffield Wednesday, 2 defeats on the trot when you're facing -12 is not what the doctor ordered either. A lot of us hypothesised that a run before they'd reach 0 of 3-4 defeats on the trot just puts it back weeks and weeks, doesn't it? You think either getting to 0 or getting out of the relegation zone. They seem to be going for it though Wednesday. Kachunga, Patterson and Marriott, and we've seen Windass as well. 3 up top for a lot of the games with Harris and Reach sort of attacking wing-backs. Couldn't get a goal against Luton, losing at home there. Rotherham will be nice and tight as ever. They've got to capitalise on their home games though, haven't they? And would a defence with Flint and Van Aken be better suited? You would worry maybe about Odebajo against the crosses that will come in from those wingers from Rotherham. I think Wednesday can score in this one, but I wonder whether Rotherham can get the win here. It's not going to be good news for Sheffield Wednesday if they do, but let's go for the smaller neighbours. They won't fancy me calling them that, but Rotherham to get the win over Sheffield Wednesday. Get your thoughts in the comments. Okay, that should just be about it. Hopefully I'll get this out on the Monday night. It may be Tuesday by the time you're seeing this. I don't know. We're trying to keep up. Trying. Before I just go through my final run of predictions and let you know exactly what I came up with. We must say we are partnered with Fan First, www.fanfirst.co.uk, a user-generated fan ratings website. You can go in and give your player ratings out of 10. Everybody loves to read them in the newspaper. You can do them yourself here. You can also rate the referee, the entertainment, the manager, even the VAR up in the Premier League. So go ahead and subscribe to www.fanfirst.co.uk. Our partners here on the channel through this next couple of weeks and this ridiculous schedule. Right, my championship predictions were Blackburn and Reading, draw. Can't read my own handwriting. Bournemouth, Bristol City, home win. Wycombe, Watford, away win. Brentford, Norwich, draw. Preston, Millwall, draw. Swansea, Stoke, away win. Luton, Forest, away win. What am I doing with all these away wins? Borough, Coventry, home. Birmingham, Huddersfield, home. Derby, Cardiff, home. Barnsley, QPR, another away. And Rotherham, Sheffield Wednesday, a home win. All a bit of fun, bit of analysis with the predictions and the previews there. As I always say, rather than pick holes in what I've said, why not comment with your own predictions and then we can have a bit of fun and check them all back afterwards. We must just thank one more time the Donovan brothers who sponsor the Championship Preview Show this season, in loving memory of Michael Donovan of South East London, lifelong Millwall fan, admirer of this show. The Donovan brothers lost Michael this year, and I, for one, I'm sure you agree, think that that is a great tribute, and we thank them for sponsoring the preview show. Right, I'm in a bit of a rush now. We've got to start a watch along in about 10 minutes. So I'm going to bid you all farewell. Maybe this will be out Monday night. Maybe it'll be out Tuesday morning. Hope you've enjoyed it either way, and please get involved in the comments. Over and out. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to see more videos from this channel. Hit the subscribe button and to be notified every time we upload. Ring the bell for those notifications to come through on your device. If you really want to support the channel and me as a content creator, I will be eternally grateful if you head over to the merch store and grab something, or support over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Thank you for your time. Go and watch another video.